right, so I'm a Chandler. So what I'll do first is I will connect, and then I will meditate, and I'll write down everything I get.
Should I do anything?
Just sit there and just relax and be open. Place your hand right there, okay? The first thing that popped in my head when I started connecting with your energy was Dynasty.
We're here in Sault Ste. Marie today at the Michigan Paranormal Conference to learn about ghosts and stuff like that. If you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, Jeff Mudgett, the great-great-grandson of H.H. Holmes. Something I'm very proud of. Kidding. But it's a true crime story, all right?
What do you think are some of the qualities that make someone evil?
Chopping up two little girls and putting them in a trunk and mailing them off.
It's a good argument.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. You're dealing with probably the most unique serial killer in American history. He was a brilliant genius.
Which serial killer?
H.H. Holmes.
H.H.
Yeah.
The great-great-grandson of H.H. Holmes.
Something I'm very proud of.
Brilliant genius.
And then I decided to try to tell the world the truth rather than people trying to show there was a ghost and stuff like that. And he wasn't psychotic. And I got fascinated with it and then obsessed with it. Yeah. Did you ever watch American Ripper? The History Channel show about him that I was on? He used to sell body parts for a living. He actually engineered an incredible escape from prison.
How did he escape?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
So you might be interested.
If you're still here.
Lake monster, these wormholes, if you like, you know, something like Bigfoot.
The book?
It looks at the UFO connections to Marilyn Monroe. Documents, CIA documents, probably like a hired assassin. Now, people say, well, what connections are there between Marilyn Monroe, you know, and the UFO subject? Somebody within the government was highly concerned that she knew all these secrets told to them by President Kennedy, plans to invade Cuba. She became a threat to national security. And somebody took the decision, she knows too much and she's got to go. An orchestrated suicide. And when you actually think it in your mind like that, it actually comes together quite easily and in a seamless way. It just kind of goes together. Justice for Marilyn.
Justice for Marilyn.
This is, it's typically referred to as an SB11. A lot of people just call it like a spirit box. It's like your typical radio, but you can program it to sweep through stations super quickly. In theory, spirits or whatever is out there available to communicate can manipulate those sounds to form words. We use noise isolation headphones. One person listens to the audio while another person asks the questions. Do you want to sit down and... If there's anybody here, can you help our friend out and give him a word super loud and clear in his headphones? He's going to repeat whatever word that you say.
Hold on.
Is it on AM or FM? It's on FM. We can try AM. Typically referred to as an SB11. People just call it like a spirit box. Spirits manipulate sounds to form words. Do you know this guy's name? What's your name? We'll call him anything.
You get to pick.
There's like a yeah. I think he's hurt. Someone may have hurt him.
There's this really cool place, Malvern Manor. It was a nursing home / home for the kind of more mentally impaired. And they had a patient in there named Gracie. And what made Gracie kind of unique is she had 13 documented different personalities. I was coerced into going and investigating Gracie's room, and long story short, Gracie has a thing for the fellas. So she kind of got a little fond of me. So I see, walking down the hallway, I see Gracie's room come in. I'm like, I'm gonna look over here. And I heard in my ears, why won't you look at me? Very manic kind of. You can see she's pacing the wall. Like, hey, got a strapping young lad over here. Why don't you come sit on his lap? And it just stops. Even inappropriate touching. Fondled. I don't know if to her that would be sexual energy.
If you had went into that room, was there any opportunity or an experience in the sexual regard?
You see, we've talked a lot about spirit porn over the years, and
my very first paranormal experience happened when I had an out-of-body experience and watched my great-grandfather pass away in his hospital bed. Interestingly enough, I was floating on the ceiling, and I was looking down on him. My grandmother was on the right side, great aunt on the left side. I woke up, and when I saw him close his eyes and kind of exhale real hard, and I saw kind of a breath that looked a little weird. I thought I killed it. My dad was freaked out, and I'm crying hysterically thinking I killed Grandpa. Just go in the other room, pour yourself a bowl of cereal, and go watch cartoons. So I did. I poured a bowl of cereal. I ate my cereal. My mom, the whole thing in the 70s and 80s was ESP, extrasensory perception. So she was kind of like, oh, my baby has gifts.
I'm G.P. Hager. I'm an exorcist.
How do you become an exorcist?
Be a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Being an exorcist is like being a police officer. So when a demon enters a person, they remove everything of God out of there. They break you down, remove your conscience. They try to get the law back into their mind to do with renouncing, because demons have rights. It's the same thing.
Demons have rights?
Sure, they're going to deceive people as much as they possibly can. They could try to be your dead Uncle Jack. Come to you and say, hey, I'm Uncle Jack.
But really it's demon time.
Really, it's a demon. But when you deal with the upper, which is like what Zaphis and I call is a devil. I've only experienced the devil once. One woman that the devil came through and confronted me and said, Greg, why do you always fight me? And I said, I'll always fight you.
And then you cast it out of her?
No. What got me involved, I used to be an occultist. I went to a party and I came under possession of a demon. Witnesses said that they saw a black mass shrink right down into me, and I stood up, started speaking in some sort of weird language, and there was a guy that tried to stop me, and apparently I threw him across the room and he broke the table.
You threw him across the room? Like an Avenger?
I don't remember because I was under possession. To this day, I hate Ouija boards. Still do.
Should I stay away from them?
Oh yeah, I think everybody should stay away from them.
I've only used the planchette a few times and the Ouija board a few times. When I used it in college, we were getting some crazy stuff. You're goofing around after a party, and you got a couple of girls over, and you're trying to impress them. Boys will be boys, and they're trying to get some stuff going. So you're sitting around with the girls, and you're trying to get whatever going, and we had a...
Get what? What are we...
Tommy, a little rock and a roll, a little shaking and a little bacon. So that's what we were trying to get going. There's plenty of alcohol that had already flowed throughout the night. We're sitting in front of the Ouija board. We got a hold of a spirit that identifies itself and says it is a child spirit, which it wasn't, and tried to tell us the way it died, and then all of a sudden it started swearing and telling us it was going to kill us. There's a few people that have a theory that we were actually transported here from Mars because our body types don't fit the Earth's gravitational pull.
Do you think I'm an alien?
You may be an alien-human hybrid. I don't know. We could be one big petri dish. We could be one big experiment.